This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Thank you for being with us today on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Okay, so I thought this morning, as I was thinking about things, and I think this is somewhat sensible, okay? Okay, I think.
Okay.
So I was thinking about tonight and tomorrow. So tonight, you got the Orange Bowl, and tomorrow you've got the Cotton Bowl. It's January the 9th and January the 10th. And what I was thinking about was, I really enjoyed, the games that, and the traditional games that took place with the Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and the Rose and everything being either, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and kind of went ding, 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 ding. And so what I wondered is if you could take the college football playoffs and just back time it so that you had all these traditional games that we're used to on New Year's Day, or at least at one point in time in your life, in my life certainly. And you would, whether you called them quarterfinal games or whatever you called them, okay? And you had all those games being on either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, okay? The Cotton, the Rose, the Orange, the Sugar, the Fiesta, okay? Those games. So that the teams that were playing in those games were playing in the college football playoffs, and they were playing in those particular bowls, and you had your traditional bowl events and all those things. So that when you got to the semifinals, like we have tonight, that they were just the semifinals. And they weren't necessarily associated with a bowl per se. They were just the semifinals. And the national championship game was the national championship game.
Okay.
And so that your New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and even if it's January 2nd, because if it falls on a Sunday or whatever, that you would have those traditional bowls at that traditional time. And then when you got to this round, you didn't necessarily associate it with a bowl. You could still have it at Jerry's Place or in Atlanta or, in Phoenix or wherever you needed to have it. They just weren't associated with that particular bowl. They were just the national semifinal.
Why? Why?
Why? Because I feel like that you are losing your history and your tradition of the Cotton and what it meant, and maybe you've already lost it, and the Orange and what it meant, and then in other years it'll be, the Sugar or the Fiesta that will be in this position where you'll be, 10 days after New Year's Day, and it'll be just like, oh, it's the Cotton Bowl? Isn't the Cotton Bowl? And then kind of late for the Cotton Bowl? Anyway, it's just me, and maybe
I don't think that you can fix this. I mean, the focus right now is not we're going to the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
The focus is we've made it to the semifinals.
Yeah.
We're one game away from playing for a national championship.
And that's what I'm saying. Just call it the semifinals as opposed to calling it the Cotton Bowl.
Okay, so now you just want the Cotton Bowl to go away?
No, I want all these games to make it so that your quarterfinal games, or however you want to do it, that they're all played and they're associated with these bowls. I mean, you're going to have to increase the number.
It's going to be the same way then. It's going to be we're in the quarterfinals. Yeah. It's not going to be we're in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, maybe so. And like I said,
I don't think that would fix this issue.
Okay.
I don't think there is a fix to this issue. The focus now, when you're playing in these bowls, is in these specific bowls is. We're fighting for a national championship.
Yeah.
It's not that we get to go to the Cotton Bowl and we're going to go eat steaks and whatever they do. And,
go down there and rope calf and
whatever gift bag they have.
Longhorns go down the stockyard.
All that.
All that kind of
there's no focus on the bowl history, tradition, all that.
Yeah.
The focus is on, hey, these are the teams that are trying to win in advance in the college football playoff.
And that's why I
don't know how you fix that. To me, that doesn't seem fixable.
And maybe it's just that
the only people that are disappointed about that are the people that are running the bowls, I would guess.
Yeah. And I guess maybe just, like I said, just call it the national semifinal as opposed to it's the Cotton Bowl. Because that's what it is. It's not the Cotton Bowl. It's the national semifinal.
Yes, I mean, you're absolutely right, but I mean, the Cotton Bowl wants to attach themselves to something.
Probably.
Who cares?
Yeah.
If you want to call it the national semifinal, call it the national semifinal. Don't call it the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, it's just not the.
It's just like Super Wild Card Weekend.
I know, just
you can keep calling it Super, even though the NFL doesn't.
I know.
Okay, and if you don't want to call it the Cotton Bowl tonight, call it the national semifinal.
Yeah.
Nobody's making you do it.
I know, but I mean, just like I said.
I mean, you could have. I know because you've said it a couple times that it's the Cotton Bowl on Friday. But I really don't even realize that.
I know.
Until you said it.
Yeah.
It's just there's just 2 semifinal games.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know how you fix that. The only people that want that fix are the people that are running the bowls. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like the history and tradition of the Cotton Bowl or the Rose Bowl or whatever. Yeah. And nobody's sad about it. Except the people running the bowls.
Yeah.
Are you sad?
No,
I would rather have a college football playoff where it's win in advance and there's intensity because the game matters and you're fighting for a national championship and you actually have to win it on the field and all that. I don't care which stadium it's held at. I care none.
The bowls should be thrilled, less expenses for bowl events, but higher viewership because more on the line. Okay, there's probably some truth to that. You would essentially lose bowls because there aren't enough games in the quarterfinals to have all the traditional bowls host one. Yeah, no, I understand that. And like I said, I was just kind of thinking, I was just, kind of thinking this out going, what if we just did this? But it's, anyway, like I said, I'm kind of showing my age here a little bit. And
well, okay, so I'm speaking for everyone here when I say nobody cares. Do you care?
Do I care about?
I mean, is it sad to you that they're not focused on the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, in a way.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way I am. I mean, yeah, in a way I am. I kind of like each one. And, it's funny because I was thinking I'd never broadcast on New Year's Day before, and I was thinking about like last week back in the day, when Lindsey Nelson would do the Cotton Bowl, and he was always Lindsey Nelson from the Cotton Bowl, and he would always have this really flashy jacket and tie. Okay, and I was thinking, man, I should go get me one. And then I was like, nobody knows who Lindsey Nelson is anymore, and hell, I'm doing a game on the radio. It doesn't even matter. So I didn't. But for your New Year's Day game. Yeah. No,
you should have done it.
I did.
I bet Finkner would have known who he was.
Oh, he knows who he was. Yeah. Oh, that guy is a walking encyclopedia.
You should go get flashy jackets either way. Either way.
Walking
whether somebody knows
encyclopedia.
Lindsey Nelson or not.
Yeah. I loved Lindsey Nelson doing it from the Cotton Bowl. He was always there in the Cotton Bowl.
Chuck feels like a flashy jacket kind of guy, doesn't he, Brendan?
Well, like he's got, the sparkly jacket, the whole
big bold color.
Yards.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you and Craig Sager.
I don't want to be. That's the clown suit. He kind of jumped the shark. Okay, I want it to be. I want it to be bold, but I don't want it to be like, oh, there goes Chuck in his new suit. I had a menswear guy teach me that when I was a young man. I was looking at a pair of really plaid jacket, and he's like, nah, Chuck. He goes, you don't want to be that guy that when people see you walking on the street, oh, there's Chuck in his new suit. You can be bold without being obnoxiously bold. And some may say that I'm obnoxiously bold on this show, 3 to 4 days out of the week.
Why are we missing a day?
I don't know.
Oh, 3 to 4, not 3 of 4, 3 to 4. Okay.
Yeah, 3 to 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that makes it fun for us.
Yeah, right.
Fun for me, at least.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Next, Jamie's question of the day.
Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, so we're a little off the beaten track with this one today.
Oh, I think that's
a little bit different.
I think that's the best track for for us or me. Okay. Being off the beaten path.
Just ease it up a little bit.
That's
here.
good. I'm glad. I'm looking for an easy question.
All right. So my question for you today, and you can't answer Kansas.
Okay.
Okay. You have to, instead of being a Red Raider fan, a Red Raider graduate, a native of Lubbock, Texas, that makes you a Red Raider fan, whatever it is.
Okay.
Makes you a Tech fan. You have to basically be the same person for a different Big 12 team.
Okay.
Meaning you live in that city, you root for that team,
Sure.
you go to their games,
Sure.
you would have gone to school there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just like you, for whatever reason you are a Red Raider fan.
Like what I've done with the Red Raiders over the last 30 years.
You have to do the same thing in another Big 12 city with another Big 12 team.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Where am I going? I don't know that I would. Do I have to live there too, or I can just be a fan of the team?
Well, since you live in Lubbock, yes, you have to live in that city. You have to go work. You, Chuck Heinz, have to go work at a radio station.
And live in that city.
Okay. You know, somebody who's a banker here in town that grew up, they just have to be a banker there in town.
I got you.
Grew up in that city.
I got you. I think I do well. Me personally, I even though I grew up in a metropolitan city, I think I do better in smaller communities like our fine community here. Me personally, I thrive better in that, where I can move around town pretty easily, all those kinds of things. I know you want a quick answer. There's two places I think I could live. I think I could live in Stillwater. I think I could move around pretty easily there. They've got, it's close to an airport there with Oklahoma City. They're not just overly obnoxious. I have a tendency to not like the fact that they, copycatted a bunch of stuff, but I can copycat things. I'm going to say Stillwater for me, Oklahoma State.
Okay. I think that would be pretty close to last on my list.
Okay. Okay.
I think for me, I would probably pick Iowa State.
Brennan, they don't have baseball.
I know.
It's cold up there, Brennan.
It is.
This is like a balmy day for them.
But I'm not picking any of the Big 12 Texas schools. Mm-hmm. Not picking OSU. Mm-hmm. Like for me, it's between BYU and Iowa State. I love the fan bases. I love kind of more. There's a blue collar feel to it, but I feel like, as a kid going to Tech games, I love going. As a kid, it felt like every game, a lot of people, and for Iowa State for a long time that wasn't the case, but you go to BYU game or an Iowa State game, great atmospheres, great people.
I think that's all fair.
I'll probably lean more towards Iowa State.
Yeah, it's cold up there, man.
Yeah, I think I would have picked Colorado if not for the cold. So much snow. I think Arizona State is where I would go.
Really?
I love the area. I don't mind heat at all.
There's a lot of people there, Jamie.
There's a lot of people there. Yeah.
I mean, you get swallowed up, in Phoenix and Tempe and Tucson and
yeah. Yeah. I think that would be where I would go. I think there are some really good, really nice places. I've told you before. I think Lawrence and Manhattan are really nice places.
See, I thought you were going to pick K-State. I thought you'd pick K-State.
That's one of my favorite campuses, but I just, again, the cold, a lot of snow.
Yeah, no,
I would like to stay out of the snow. My years of growing up as a New Yorker have made me not want it to see it ever again in my life.
I understand.
If it never snowed here in Lubbock, I'd be great with it. Anyway, I think there's a lot of good choices, a lot of good places. And part of it with me, like the fan base. Do I fit with the fan base? I do not feel like I fit with Oklahoma State's fan base at all. Okay. As far as Arizona State being like the second school in the state, quote unquote, Some might say we're the third school in the state. Others might say we're fifth or sixth in the state. Those people are idiots. But anyways, I feel like I'm more of a second school in the state kind of guy, not a first school in the state kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if somebody asked me, well, where would Jamie live? He didn't live in Lubbock. I'd say Manhattan, Kansas, because I think because you like those folks.
They're all right, I guess. Yeah. All right. I mean, the whole Colorado thing. I mean, if you were there right now and you had to be all in on Deion Sanders, man, that would be miserable.
Well, plus wouldn't
want to live in Houston.
No, Houston.
Fort Worth. No. Waco. No thanks.
Yeah.
BYU is a good option, except I'm not Mormon, so I really. That would be...
You wouldn't fit.
I wouldn't really fit.
And you want to come to churches? We're going over to the Tabernacle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying that's not a particular religion.
See, I feel like
practice.
if you lived in Boulder, you'd have to be a pothead. I just feel like that. I feel like that you're.
Not everybody that lives in Colorado is a pothead.
I just feel like you drive in.
See, he sounds just like my father-in-law, because my youngest daughter wants to go to school somewhere in Colorado, and he basically just thinks that everybody there is just smoking weed 24/7.
I feel like if you go to the streets of Colorado right now, there's a haze over it, and you just got to go. Oh my God, man! I can't even do any work because I'm hiring a kite or. Whatever.
I was going to say that not everyone in Utah is a Mormon, but I think there's it's an extremely large percentage.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem being around them. It's just being a a BYU fan. That's about their Mormon religion. So, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of good cities in the Big 12. West Virginia is beautiful, but I would never want to be there in that snow for that long. And, of course, Chuck thinks all of those people are drunk on moonshine 24/7.
Coming down from the mountains and the coal mines.
So what do people say about Red Raider fans? What are we messed up on 24/7?
That's a great question.
What did you people in Kansas say about us?
To be honest with you, I didn't even know where Lubbock was when I was living there. To be quite honest with you,
he didn't think there was life outside of Lawrence or Kansas City.
Yeah.
What? There are other states?
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Brendan Riker. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. And also the Visual Edge IT hotline. It is open too at 806-771-0973. So look forward to hearing from you today. We'll have Red Raider basketball, weather permitting, with Grant McCaslin. I think he can find his way.
Sure he can.
And I think Jeff Hexon can maybe find his way too.
Hope so.
Yes. That'll be at 6 o'clock tonight on Double T 97.3. It's the first one of those. He'll be... I'm sure that Coach McCaslin is way moved on from BYU. There's still some afterglow with that because of just getting a big win on the road, but now full focus of attention going to what's going to transpire on Saturday with Iowa State, right? With Tech facing the number 3 team in the country. I mean, you can't go, hey, we beat it. We beat BYU. Well, okay, that game's over, right? You've had your 24 hours or 12 or whatever time they take, and now you got to focus your attention on Iowa State.
It should be pretty easy to get focused, right? Just because you know how good they are.
Yes, absolutely. And I hope it's a raucous environment on Saturday with Tech and Iowa State. I mean, it's a 1 o'clock tip or coverage at noon. Got a chance to get your errands run before the ball game. You can take the missus or your buddies or your kids or whatever, go to the ball game, and just enjoy, right? Mm-hmm. Just enjoy. So look forward to that on Saturday, and then Orange Bowl is tonight. I This is not necessarily. I'm like, okay, got to be home for the kick, but I think I'll dial in and watch this game tonight, and we'll have it for you if you're out running around on 100.7 The Score with Penn State and Notre Dame. I don't really have a dog in the hunt one way or the other. I think I've said this a couple of times this week. Kind of like Marcus Freeman, the coach of Notre Dame. So my hatred of just seeing Notre Dame and the Golden Domers. Now, if they come out in green jerseys tonight, that might tip the scale for me.
In a positive or negative way?
Negative. If they come out in green jerseys, I'm all in on Penn State.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems tricked up. Because they've done that before. Come out in their green jerseys, big basketball game, big football game, come out in their green jerseys. Kind of feel like they should be green anyway, but if your declared color is blue, then coming out in the green, just to kind of fire everybody up. But it wouldn't surprise me. The
Red Raiders wear red, black, gray, some sort of steel gray this year with Patrick Mahomes, white.
I know.
The Jayhawks wear white, blue,
black,
red,
they've
black.
Red, yellow. Yeah, right. No,
all the above.
Yeah. I know. I don't care for it. I mean, I would prefer we wear black helmets,
Notre
red
Dame
tops,
shouldn't be
black.
allowed to do that.
Well, see, but it feels like when they do it, it's different. I mean, they got their Golden Dome helmets. I appreciate the tradition and things like that, but when they try to look like the Lucky Charm guy, then I don't know. It just makes me not feel that they're magically delicious. Okay, they're magically delicious. You know the Lucky Charm guy?
Oh yeah, I'm well aware.
Are you a big fan of the Lucky Charm?
I am.
Yeah, see, I never cared for that.
I actually like the non-marshmallow and Lucky Charms better than the marshmallow parts.
Juan says this. I'm also in the same camp with
Cheerios at that point.
Okay, whatever. No, they don't taste the same as Cheerios.
I'm also in the same camp with JL and the fact of basketball players' shoes should match the uniform. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Penn State comes out in pink? They're not. Okay. They're not. But they're not. Okay. They're going to come out in white helmets. They're plain Janes, man. You should love Penn State.
I like their uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not against tricked up uniforms that have fun, whatever. I just want them to be the school colors.
Yeah. They're Irish, Chuck. Yeah. No, I get it.
I ask.
They're Irish.
Yeah. And I think, Notre Dame has two main colors, just like Red Raiders have red, black, gray, white, steel gray. I mean, whatever.
What if we came out in blue sometime?
I would.
Or yellow.
Chance McMillan would love it. He'd probably wear red shoes then.
You remember the Tech uniforms that they wore against Texas a couple years ago, and it had the red, blue, and white? Well, I guess it was more red, blue, and black for the Texas.
The Texas uniforms, whatever.
Yeah, the Texas uniforms, yeah.
Wasn't that? Was that? No, it wasn't that game. But yeah, I remember them, and a lot of people hated.
And they were awful.
We had blue on our uniforms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's
navy tops, gold pants tonight, Chuck. So
for Notre Dame, okay.
Take a chill pill. Don't get angry at the swirls and curls girl anymore.
Okay. Notre Dame is the visitor. Green won't happen. Okay. Well, there have been times when they've come out in their blue and then they go back in the locker room and the equipment guys have put the green out and then they get all fired up and they put the green on. Bobby Hot Dogs. Chuck hates green now. Can you even fathom the level of hatred if New Home were to trot out for a game with green jerseys? I don't hate New Home, Bobby. Hot Dogs. I'm just going to call you Bobby from now. I'm not going to give you proper hot dog treatment until you lower your hatred of me.
Call him, really get him, Chuck. Call him Robert Cheeseburgers. Bobby
Sausage, maybe. Iowa State has adopted black and white as their base colors now. Somebody says what a BS move it was for the Titans to wear the Oilers gear last week.
I could not agree more.
I'm in complete
I felt like it was totally trolling.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
usually I don't get into all of that, but I'm not a old Oilers fan or whatever, but it felt like they were totally trolling. And
and they've lost every time they've worn those uniforms against them.
I just thought that was not cool.
So karma's undefeated there.
Have some class there, Titans.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Brendan Riker. I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have the Orange Bowl tonight at 6, Notre Dame and Penn State. We'll have Red Raider basketball with Grant McCaslin tonight at 6, as they'll talk about the Utah trip and then what's coming ahead for the Red Raiders on Saturday with Iowa State coming to town. Some thoughts and comments from the H Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Not surprised JL prefers the marshmallow-free version of a cereal based around marshmallows. This Chuck is good entertainment when he's in a foul mood. Actually, I'm in a really good mood. I've just kind of allowed myself to draw myself off sides a couple of times here this morning.
I mean, it wasn't just you. I mean, Bobby kind of drew you off sides there.
Yeah.
This morning, it was definitely you.
Yeah.
And I appreciated Bobby.
Bobby says, nothing but love for you, Chuck, and others. I and others, in parenthesis, just like to push your button. Z. A fired up Chuck equals radio gold. Oh, wow. It can be radio gold. A number of you have asked about this, so I might as well talk about it a little bit. Chuck, was there bad blood when J.C. Carter left Tech? Things looked tense between he and Coach Gerlich after the game. Yeah, I mean, he left in a bad time after making a commitment to stay. And she's not going to fake being nice. And decided not to, shake hands. That's her decision, and I understand that. But there was things probably on both sides, but it is what it is. She's a competitor, and obviously last night did not go very well. And it wasn't just last night for the reason for that, I'm sure. You'd have to ask her specifically about that, but that's just kind of my take on it is they thought that they were moving forward with some things, and then he left, and I think there were some other things that probably took place there, and as a result, made that decision that wasn't going to acknowledge him last night. So I was a little surprised, but not surprised. So that's just my 2 cents on it. 8:17 this morning here on the morning drive. It's hard when you're losing, and when you're losing, you want to keep your wits about you as best you can. But there's other things there, I think, that led to that. But I think the bottom line is, more than anything else, she doesn't fake it. She doesn't fake it when talking about her team. She doesn't fake it when talking about herself or how things are going. What's real is real. I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. I mean, she talked about last night after the game, just the one soundbite that I saw from her post-game comments that she wasn't getting to the players and that they weren't playing hard, and they need to find somebody that wants to play hard. So, and so I think she could have sugarcoated it some, but don't. She's not a sugarcoater, and I appreciate that. But it keeps getting tough because you got to play TCU on Saturday, and they come in after beating Kansas on the road. I wasn't necessarily surprised by that because TCU is really good. They got couple of really good players, and Kansas has a really good player as well, and she played really well last night. But they've lost some players too. Kansas has so. But still, I mean, can't really worry about anybody else but yourself at this point in time, and trying to figure out how to right your ship. And you play TCU on Saturday, and then go to Iowa State, which is a tough place to play. I mean, they're a good team as well. There's a lot of good teams in the Big 12. So that's kind of what you're kind of looking at. The next couple of games are dicey, no doubt. And these last two, you knew they were going to be tough with West Virginia and Kansas State. The the game that you really wanted was, and you won all of them, obviously, but the one that you'd kind of circled was Arizona State as a game that you really thought that you should win, and you did not. And that was unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where it feels like, I'm not saying you wouldn't have lost the other games, but it led to you not playing well at all the last few games. There were some good stretches against Kansas State. Really, the first half was pretty decent there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
The third quarter, they outscored you like 28-9 or something. That turned it. But the first half was pretty good.
Yeah,
but,
you're down like by 6 at the half.
But you didn't feel like there was any of those stretches last night.
And look, Arizona State and women's hoops, they may be better than what everybody thought, much like football, because, they lost to Iowa State last night, but they put up 83 points on them.
Which is impressive against that team that's known for their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Iowa State won.
If Tech scores 83 points this weekend, I would feel about 98% certain you win.
Yes, against TCU or Iowa State on Tuesday.
I was talking about the men's basketball team.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right. We're talking about the women's games.
Yeah.
So the for TCU last night, they won 80-73. Well, it's actually yesterday afternoon when they played. I think because they're trying to beat the weather. But Sedona, huh?
Smart.
Yeah, smart. Yeah. Right. Sedona Prince had 30 last night for them, and then Haley Van Lith, she came in and popped in. She's a starter. She had 19 points, and then for Kansas, Samaya Nichols, who's their rock star, and she's just a sophomore. She had 24 points for them.
I'm trying to remember who I was talking to, whether it was you or Choice, about this recently. We were talking about one specific school, and is the pressure bigger on them because their rival is doing so well? I can't remember who we were talking about, but that's what it feels like in this situation.
With TCU.
With Texas Tech's women's basketball program struggling, and then you see TCU doing what you're doing. It just kind of like it's adding fuel to the flames, right? It really just sticks out even more.
TCU's ranked 11th. They're 16-1 on the season, and they've got it rolling. They brought in Sedona Prince. She's really, really good. She played 39 minutes last night, went 12 of 21, had 14 rebounds. So double for her, and she's hard for any team to stop, no matter how good or bad you are. So that's kind of the take there. All right, if you have a thought, comment, Yates Flooring Center chat line, hit us up there, and go to the mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. I want to get to this a little bit. We may run out of time, but we can slide it also just past 8:30. Your take on T.J. Pompey and his recognition yesterday?
Well, obviously had a really good freshman season that got him All-American honors and all that, but there was also some, he went through a rough stretch towards the end of the season, not at the very end, but towards the end of the season where he was really struggling. There's no question about it. And there were times during the season where he was struggling with his glove, and then there were times during the season where he was struggling at the plate. And so, kind of what you expect from a freshman. There's ups and downs and all that, but when it's all said and done, really talented guy that looked great in here in the fall as well for the Red Raiders. So not surprised to see him, receive the honor. I think, if you're just looking at it, he probably looks like, looks the part more than anybody on the Tech baseball roster. He probably has the most potential to be a big leaguer of anybody on the Red Raider roster. Just got to keep getting better and his game maturing or whatever. He's a little bit thicker than he was last year. So he's put on some muscle in the fall to help. But, man, he looked good in the fall too. I'm excited about a second year with him.
And you think he's going to move over to third base?
Yeah, he played primarily at the end of the fall at third and looked really good, better than he had looked at short or at second. He's battling with a young man named Peyton Scholes, who's a senior transfer from Cal over there. Both of them have looked good there, and Scholes could also factor in over at first base as well. So, it's probably whoever's swinging it better is going to get the opportunity. So, I think he'll play more third than anything else this year.
It's great to have options.
your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Have the Orange Bowl tonight. Well, it seems weird to say the Orange Bowl tonight. I think I'm just going to say it's the national semifinal tonight. It happens to be played in Miami at whatever the name of the stadium is now.
Well, don't let it get you down, man.
No, it's not the Orange Bowl. They're not going to have the orange-covered microphones. They're not going to have the Orange Jubilee halftime show, which I never really cared for, but now I miss it. They're not going to have Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy there. It's not the Orange Bowl. Not going to have the big. What happened to the big Orange Bowl guy? Is it the caricature, the Orange Bowl guy?
The mascot?
Yeah, the mascot. What happened to him?
I think he's still around.
I would guess
we've not seen it.
Person in the suit.
We've not seen it. Kind of looks like the.
I'll find you the picture.
It looks like the Kool-Aid Man. We have not seen the Kool-Aid Man in quite some time either. Mm-hmm. The Kool-Aid, kind of jumping through the Kool-Aid Man, going through the fence or jumping over the wall or what? How did that go? It wasn't like, hey, Fat Albert. It was more the Kool-Aid Man,
Yeah, I'm not sure, man.
And then, the former Kansas coach, Mark Mangino, when KU was playing in the Orange Bowl, they had to show a picture of him with the Orange Bowl mascot, and they're
look like twins?
They look like twins, yes. They look like twins. Yeah, they look like twins. He was uncouth. That's just, there's no other way to describe him. There's probably a reason why he's not coaching anymore. He's uncouth. Is what I understood.
Maybe.
His behavior was not very
There's a lot
kind.
of coaches that are a little odd.
Yeah, he was.
Good thing all radio hosts are
Bullfighter says, yeah. Kool-Aid Man says, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the Kool-Aid Man.
Okay.
Yeah, Sooner in Lubbock says, oh, yeah, the Kool-Aid Man.
Okay. All right.
Somebody else says, oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be like the Kool-Aid Man if the Kool-Aid Man busted in right now and had some grape Kool-Aid and a nice glass of ice? Whew. That'd be tall cotton, Jamie.
Tall cotton.
Tall cotton.
All right.
It's now called Hard Rock Stadium, right? Okay. I mean, it was Pro Player. It was Joe Robbie. It was Dolphin Stadium. I mean, it's been a million different things. Mm-hmm. And the signage guys have just come out like thieves at that place. Because, every time they change the name, they got to change out the signs.
Sure. They're making money off it. So
the sign guys, done extremely well.
Good for them.
Changing out all the signs. Okay. 8:35 this morning here on the morning drive. So we have that going for us. The Kool-Aid Man and the Orange Bowl mascot. That's riveting, deep kind of digging here. Sports talk, right? If you just kind of thought about it, does one team, do you think, favor the other tonight? I mean, or do you feel like that these are pretty evenly matched teams and it comes down to who makes the least mistakes?
I think higher of Penn State's quarterback. I think Notre Dame's run game is a little bit better. This one to me it really feels like a toss-up. I wouldn't be surprised if either team won. I don't think either one of them is just so much better than the other. I guess that's what I'm saying. But, for whatever reason, I just feel like Notre Dame just it's their year.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually in these big games, you favor the team with a better quarterback or more experienced quarterback. But I feel like both quarterbacks are solid, but.
Notre Dame has won 12 straight. They haven't lost since losing to Northern Illinois. Remember that week 2 loss? Boy, after that, you're like, whoa. Yeah, woof.
I know. That's crazy. To think that the team that lost that game, right, is in the national semifinal. It's in the Orange Bowl.
The winning coach in this game will go to the title game on January 20th with a chance of becoming the first black coach to win a major college football national championship. James Franklin says, I don't take it lightly. Marcus Freeman gives credit to the two people that hired him at Notre Dame, then athletic director Jack Swarbrick, and then university president John Jenkins, the Reverend John Jenkins. Man, it feels like Reverend Jenkins was at Notre Dame like 30-something years. It's the 20th meeting between these two teams. They have split the first 19, 9-1, but they haven't played each other since September 8th of 2007. Okay. Ohio, just in terms of these numbers from ESPN, the defenses, and we all know this, defense wins championship, right? Ohio State ranks first nationally in yards allowed per game this season. That's not allowing a bunch of yards defensively, right?
Oh, right.
Texas is 3, Penn State is 6, Notre Dame is 8. Notre Dame has won the last 6 games it's played in an NFL stadium.
Okay.
Bad news for Notre Dame. Hard Rock has not been good for the Irish. They're 0-2 there, losing 42-14 to Alabama in the BCS championship game that capped the 2012 season. They lost to Miami 41-8 in 2017. None of those players will be playing. Attendance tonight is 65,000. That's a small crowd for Penn State because their stadium holds over 100,000. Okay. There's a couple little tidbits for you with regard to the game tonight.
It's crazy to think that I think they're part of me that's pulling for Notre Dame is because I don't want to see the potential for 2 Big Ten teams. You know, I do feel like Ohio State's going to win the other game. I could be wrong, but I just don't want it to be. It's like I'm acting like Notre Dame, some young upstart or something. You know?
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're even. The craziness that none of the rules apply to them and they do whatever they want is even more so than the Big Ten and the SEC. But I don't know. I just don't want the potential for having 2 Big Ten teams in there just seems annoying.
The matchup predictor has Notre Dame winning 59% and Penn State 41%. I think this is an appropriate use of the Magic 8 Ball.
Okay.
Will Notre Dame win tonight? It is certain.
It is certain.
That's as much of a confirmation that we've gotten from the Magic 8 Ball so far. So
I'm betting Chuck's Garage on it.
And all the stuff that's in it.
All the stuff that's in it, none of which are cars.
It's unfortunate. I
bet if the young phenom wanted it cleaned out, it'd get cleaned out. You should tell him to talk Grandma into that.
Getting touchy. She's safely tucked away, though, this morning.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.